important in the end. And we have a number of examples where bringing some really intangible assets to the company is actually the best way to grow them forward. So a few examples. We do have a number of customers at Schneider, and it may so happen that the startups companies are chasing the same customers, and maybe sometimes we can jointly go to the customer and help them discovering the customer, access our network basically, and in general accessing our network of customers, our expertise, our understanding of the markets, of the regulation. All of this is a tremendous way to help the startup companies going faster in understanding where they should go and obviously deploying the operations. That's one side of the story. Another one is to find the quick win, this was mentioned before. A quick win, that's important, and a win-win. It's really two sides of the same story. And here the experience is very fun. It might sometimes be extremely counterintuitive from the corporate perspective. And we've had a number of examples in the past years where we see the very cool startups, great technology. It's like, okay, we're gonna integrate the technology to our offers, we're gonna build a new product jointly with the company and go to markets. And we build a 5 years plan to get there, and the startup is looking at us like, what is this? I mean, I don't have 5 years to get there. And what actually happens is we find in one country, one customer that is having exactly the need that we were having in mind. And rather than building this giant program, we're going to go for this quick win, but it's a win-win. We both gain a new customer, we make a new customer happy. And from there, once we have proven that there is an actual value to be brought in the market, it is much easier to embark on a longer journey of collaborating with each other. So to me, some reflections of some learnings in the past years of these interactions. And from our perspective, from the corporate perspective, it's all about being extremely open and respect the partner. And at the very moment we do that, it's really amazing the speed that these stories can bring. And that's what's important from our perspective. Back to what Stephanie was saying at the beginning, that's one way we innovate. That's one way we know we're going to bring some new things to the customers that we wouldn't be able to bring otherwise.
Thank you very much. Christoph, because I heard that many of the founders of Gaoplex are former Schneider employees, right?
That's right.
So it will be quite interesting to hear from you. What will be your advice for Schneider and startups?
Now I'd like to echo what Rodolphe just said. I spent half of my career working for large groups. I was not a Schneider employee myself, but I worked for a pretty large French company. And what Rodolphe said about the intangible value is absolutely true. I think Schneider does that in two ways absolutely very well. First of all, they have a dedicated entity and system to build up that ecosystem and to nurture those relationships, number one. But also they carry an extremely valuable brand. And for us as a small company, the fact that we are connected from Schneider, not just because the founders are there, but because the technology also, we have support technically, and that is a great help. If you are just another startup from France, as good as you are, as innovative and as French as you could be, and you are in conversation with large corporates, let's say we're having conversation with some of the largest state-owned enterprise in China, it's hard. As a small startup, the people will look down at you and say, well, who are you? We don't know. But they do recognize the relationship with a very credible player. And that, of course, helps building the trust in those very early stage and very critical stages of our development.
And Nev, any advice how to ensure this collaboration in a good way?
I think one thing that's very important, and maybe this is with any type